Important, read carefully. This End User License Agreement, EULA, is a legal agreement between you, either an individual or a single entity, and Microsoft Corporation or one of its affiliates. Microsoft for the Microsoft software that accompanies this EULA, which includes computer software and may include associated media, printed materials, online or electronic documentation, and internet-based services, software. An amendment or addendum to this EULA may accompany the software. You agree to be bound by the terms of this EULA by installing, copying, or otherwise using the software. If you do not agree, do not install, copy, or use the software. You may return it to your place of purchase for a full refund if applicable. 1. Grant of license. Microsoft grants you the following rights provided that you comply all terms and conditions of this EULA. 1. Installation and use. You may install, use, access, display, and run one copy of the software on a single computer, such as a workstation, terminal, or other device, workstation computer. The software may not be used by more than 2 processors at any one time on a single workstation computer. 2. Mandatory activation. The license rights guaranteed under this EULA are limited to the first 30 days after you first install the software, unless you supply information required to activate your licensed copy in the manner described during the setup sequence of the software. You can activate the software through the use of the internet or telephone. Toll charges may apply. You may also need to reactivate the software if you modify your computer hardware or alter the software. If you choose internet activation, the software will contact Microsoft computer systems over the internet to conduct an authentication process to confirm that you have a licensed copy of the software. During the authentication process, the software will send information including standard Internet Protocol information, which is not stored by Microsoft, product ID, and an installation ID based on a hardware hash generated from your workstation computer. This information will not be used to identify or contact you. There are technological measures in this software that are designed to prevent unlicensed use of the software. Microsoft will use those measures to confirm that you have a legally licensed copy of the software. If you are not using a licensed copy of the software, you are not allowed to install the software or future software updates. 3. Device connections. You may permit a maximum of 10 computers or other electronic devices, each a device, to connect to the workstation computer to utilize one or more of the following services of the software: file services, print services, internet information services, internet connection sharing, and telephony services. The 10 connection maximum includes any indirect connections made through multiplexing or other software or hardware, which pools or aggregates connections. This 10 connection maximum does not apply to other uses of the software, such as synchronizing data between a device and the workstation computer, provided only one user accesses, displays, or runs the software at any one time. This section 1.3 does not grant you rights to access a workstation computer session from any device. A session means any use of the software that enables functionality similar to that available to an end user who is interacting with the workstation computer through any combination of input, output, and display peripherals. 1.4. Remote desktop, remote assistance, net meeting. The software contains remote desktop, remote assistance, and net meeting technologies that enable the software or applications installed on the workstation computer, sometimes referred to as a host device, to be accessed remotely from other devices. You may use the software's remote desktop feature or other software which provides a similar functionality for a similar purpose to access a workstation computer session from any device, provided you acquire a separate software license for that device. As an exception to this rule, the person who is the single primary user of the workstation computer may access a workstation computer session from any device without acquiring an additional software license for that device. When you are using remote assistance or net meeting, or other software which provides similar functionality for a similar purpose, you may share a session with other users without any limitation on the number of device connections and without acquiring additional licenses for the software. For Microsoft and non-Microsoft applications, you should consult the license agreement accompanying the applicable software or contact the applicable licenser to determine whether use of the software with remote desktop, remote assistance, or net meeting is permitted without an additional license. 1.5. Storage network use. You may also store or install a copy of the software on a storage device, such as a network server, used only to install or run the software on your other workstation computers over an internet network. However, you must acquire and dedicate an additional license for each separate workstation computer on or from which software is installed, used, accessed, displayed, or run. Except as otherwise permitted by the net meeting and remote assistance features described above, a license for the software may not be shared or used concurrently on different workstation computers. 2. Automatic internet-based services. The software features described below are enabled by default to connect via the internet to Microsoft computer systems automatically, without separate notice to you. These features use standard internet protocols which transmit information such as the type of operating system, browser, IP address, and language code of your workstation computer to the Microsoft computer system. This information will not be used to identify or contact you. You consent to the operation of these features unless you choose to switch them off or not use them. For more information about these features, please see your software documentation, the Microsoft Online Support site, or the privacy statement at http://link We may occasionally update the information at http://go.microsoft.com/FWLINK/link/2543. When we do so, the top of the web page will indicate when the material was last updated. 2.1. Windows Update features. The software update features, if enabled, can be used to obtain various software and hardware updates for installation. You can switch this update feature off. 2.2. Web content features. Under the software's default configuration, if you are connected to the internet, several features of the software are enabled by default to retrieve content from Microsoft computer systems and display it to you. When you activate such a feature, it uses standard internet protocols which transmit the type of operating system, browser, and language code of your workstation computer to the Microsoft computer system so that the content can be viewed properly from your workstation computer. These features only operate when you activate them, and you may choose to switch them off or not use them. Examples of these features include Windows Catalog, Search Assistant, and the headlines and search features of Help and Support Center. 2.3. Digital certificates. The software uses digital certificates based on the X.509 standard. These digital certificates confirm the identity of internet users sending X.509 standard encrypted information. The software retrieves certificates and updates certificate revocation lists. These security features operate only when you use the internet. 2.4. Auto Root Update. The Auto Root Update feature updates the list of trusted certificate authorities. You can switch off the Auto Root Update feature. 2.5. Windows Media Player. Some features of Windows Media Player automatically connect Microsoft computer systems. If you use Windows Media Player or specific features of it, Windows Media Player will, A. Always check for a list of compatible online music services in your geographic region. B. Periodically check for new versions of Windows Media Player. And C. Check for new codecs if your workstation computer does not have correct ones for content you attempt to play. This feature may be switched off. For additional information regarding these checks by Windows Media Player, please see the privacy statement at http://www.microsoft.com/windows/Windows Media/ .mp1.0/privacy.aspx2.6. Windows Media Digital Rights Management. Content providers may use the digital rights management technology for Windows Media contained in the software WM-DRM to protect the integrity of their content, secure content, so that their intellectual property, including copyright, in such content is not misappropriated. Portions of this software and third-party applications, such as media players, use WM-DRM to play secure content. WM-DRM software. If the WM-DRM software security has been compromised, owners of secure content owners, may request that Microsoft revoke the WM-DRM software's right to copy, display, and/or play secure content. Revocation does not alter the WM-DRM software's ability to play unprotected content. A list of revoked WM-DRM software is sent to your workstation computer whenever you download a license for secure content from the internet. Microsoft may, in conjunction with such license, also download revocation lists onto your workstation computer on behalf of secure content owners. Secure content owners may also require you to update some of the WM-DRM components in this software, WM-DRM upgrades, before accessing their content. When you attempt to play such content, WM-DRM software built by Microsoft will notify you that a WM-DRM upgrade is required and then ask for your consent before the WM-DRM upgrade is downloaded. WM-DRM software built by third parties may do the same. If you decline the upgrade, you will not be able to access content that requires the WM-DRM upgrade. However, you will still be able to access unprotected content and secure content that does not require the upgrade. WM-DRM features that access the internet, such as acquiring new licenses and/or performing a required WM-DRM upgrade, can be switched off. When these features are switched off, you will still be able to play secure content if you have a valid license for such content already stored on your workstation computer. 3. Reservation of rights and ownership. Microsoft reserves all right not expressly granted to you in this EULA. The software is protected by copyright and other intellectual property laws and treaties. Microsoft or its suppliers own the title, copyright, and other intellectual property rights in the software. The software is licensed, not sold. 4. Limitations on reverse engineering, decompilation, and disassembly. You may not reverse engineer, decompile, or disassemble the software, except and only to the extent that such activity is expressly permitted by applicable law, notwithstanding this limitation. 5. No rental or commercial hosting. You may not rent, lease, lend, or provide commercial hosting services with the software. 5. Links to third-party sites. You may link to third-party sites through the use of the software. The third-party sites are not under the control of Microsoft, and Microsoft is not responsible for the contents of any third-party sites, and any links contained in third-party sites, or any changes or updates to third-party sites. Microsoft is not responsible for webcasting or any other form of transmission received by any third-party sites. Microsoft is providing these links to third-party sites to you only as a convenience, and the inclusion of any link does not imply the endorsement by Microsoft of third-party site. 7. Additional software or services. This EULA applies to updates, supplements, add-on components, product support services, or internet-based services components of the software that you may obtain from Microsoft after the date you obtain your initial copy of the software, unless you accept updated terms or another agreement governs. Microsoft reserves the right to discontinue any internet-based services provided to you or made available to you through the use of the software. 8. Upgrades. To use software identified as an upgrade, you must first be licensed for the software identified by Microsoft as eligible for the upgrade. After upgrading, you may no longer use the software that formed the basis for your upgrade eligibility. 9. Not for resale software. Software identified as not for resale or NFR may not be sold or otherwise transferred for value or used for any purpose other than demonstration, test, or evaluation. 10. Academic Edition software. To use software identified as Academic Edition or AE, you must use a qualified educational user. For qualification-related questions, please contact the Microsoft Sales Information Center, 1 Microsoft Way, Redmond, WA 98052-6399, or the Microsoft subsidiary serving your country. 11. Notices regarding the MPEG-4 visual standard. The software includes MPEG-4 visual decoding technology. This technology is a format for data compression of video information. For this technology, MPEG Los Angeles L.L.C. requires this notice. Use of this product in any manner that complies with the MPEG-4 visual standard is prohibited, except for use directly related to A. data or information, I. generated by and obtained without charge from a consumer, and I. for personal use only, and B. other uses specifically and separately licensed by MPEG Los Angeles L.L.C. If you have any questions regarding this notice, please contact MPEG Los Angeles L.L.C. 250 Steel Street, Suite 300, Denver, Colorado 80206, telephone 30331.1880, fax 30331.1879, http://www.mpeglosangeles.com. 12. Export restrictions. You acknowledge that the software is subject to U.S. export jurisdiction. You agree to comply with all applicable international and national laws that apply to the software, including the U.S. Export Administration regulations, as well as end-user, end-use, and destination restrictions issued by U.S. and other governments. For additional information, see http://www.microsoft.com/EXPOR/13. End-user proof of license. If you acquired the software on a compact disc or other media, a genuine Microsoft proof of license label with a genuine copy of the software identifies a licensed copy of the software. To be valid, the label must appear on Microsoft software packaging. If you receive the label separately, it is invalid. You should keep the packaging that has the label on it to prove that you are licensed to use the software. 14. Software transfer. Internal. You may move the software to a different workstation computer. After the transfer, you must completely remove the software from the former workstation computer. Transfer to third party. The initial user of the software may make a one-time permanent transfer for this EULA and software to another end user provided the initial user retains no copies of the software. This transfer must include the software and the proof of license label. The transfer may not be an indirect transfer such as a consignment. Prior to the transfer, the end user receiving the software must agree to all the EULA terms. 15. Termination. Without prejudice to any other rights, Microsoft may terminate this EULA if you fail to comply with the terms and conditions of this EULA. In such event, you must destroy all copies of the software and all of its component parts. 16. Notice regarding security to help protect against breaches of security and malicious software. Periodically back up your data and system information. Use security features such as firewalls and install and use security updates. 17. Limited warranty for software acquired in the US and Canada. Microsoft warrants that the software will perform substantially in accordance with the accompanying materials for a period of 90 days from the date of receipt. If an implied warranty or condition is created by your state or jurisdiction and federal or state or provincial law prohibits disclaimer of it, you also have an implied warranty or condition, but only as to defects discovered during the period of this limited warranty. 90 days as to any defects discovered under the 90-day period. There is no warranty or condition of any kind. Some states or jurisdictions do not allow limitations on how long an implied warranty or condition lasts, so the above limitation may not apply to you. Any supplements or updates to the software, including without limitation any, if any, service packs or hotfixes provided to you after the expiration of the 90-day limited warranty period are not covered by any warranty or condition, express, implied, or statutory. Limitation on remedies, no conceptual or other damages. Your exclusive remedy for any breach of this limited warranty is as set forth below, except for any refund elected by Microsoft. You are not entitled to any damages, including but not limited to consequential damages, if the software does not meet Microsoft's limited warranty and to the maximum extent allowed by applicable law, even if any remedy fails of this essential purpose. The terms of Section 19, exclusion of incidental, consequential, and certain other damages, are also incorporated into this limited warranty. Some states or jurisdictions do not allow the exclusion or limitation of incidental or consequential damages, so the above limitation or exclusion may not apply to you. This limited warranty gives you specific legal rights. You may not have other rights which vary from state jurisdiction to state jurisdiction. Your exclusive remedy. Microsoft and its suppliers' entire liability and your exclusive remedy for any breach of this limited warranty or for any other breach of this EULA or for any other liability relating to the software shall be at Microsoft's option, from time to time exercised subject to applicable law. A. Return of the amount paid, if any, for the software, or B. Repair or replacement of the software that does not meet this limited warranty and that is returned to Microsoft with a copy of your receipt. You will receive the remedy elected by Microsoft without charge, except that you are responsible for any expenses you may incur. E. G. Cost of shipping the software to Microsoft. This limited warranty is void of failure of the misapplication, abnormal use, or a virus. Any replacement software will be warranted for the remainder of the original warranty period or 30 days, whichever is longer, and Microsoft will use a commercially reasonable efforts to provide your remedy within a commercially reasonable time of your compliance with Microsoft's warranty remedy procedures. Outside the United States or Canada, neither these remedies nor any product support services offered by Microsoft are available without proof of purchase from an authorized international source. To exercise your remedy, contact Microsoft ATTN. Microsoft Sales Information Center, 1 Microsoft Way, Redmond, WA 98052-6399, or the Microsoft subsidiary serving your country. 18. Disclaimer of warranties. The limited warranty that appears above is the only express warranty made to you and is provided in lieu of any other express warranties or similar obligations, if any, created by any advertising, documentation, packaging, or other communications except for the limited warranty and to the maximum extent permitted by applicable law. Microsoft and its suppliers provide the software and support services, if any, as is and with all faults, and hereby disclaim all other warranties and conditions, whether express, implied, or statutory, including, but not limited to, any, if any, implied warranties, duties, or conditions of merchantability, of fitness or a particular purpose, of reliability or availability, of accuracy or completeness of responses, of results, of workmanlike effort, of lack of viruses, and of lack of negligence, all with regard to the software, and the provision of or failure to provide support or other services, information, software, and related content through the software or otherwise arising out of the use of the software. Also, there is no warranty or condition of title, quiet enjoyment, quiet possession, correspondence to description or non-infringement with regard to the software. 19. Exclusion of incidental, consequential, and certain other damages to the maximum extent permitted by applicable law. In no event shall Microsoft or its suppliers be liable for any special, incidental, punitive, indirect, or consequential damages whatsoever, including but not limited to damages for loss of profits or confidential or other information, for business interruption, for personal injury, for loss of privacy, for failure to meet any duty including of good faith or of reasonable care, for negligence, and for any other pecuniary or other loss whatsoever, arising out of or in any way related to the use of or inability to use the software, the provision of or failure to provide support or other services, information, software, and related content through the software, or otherwise arising out of the use of the software, or otherwise under or in connection with any provision of this EULA, even in the event of the fault, tort, including negligence, misrepresentation, strict liability, breach of contract, or breach of warranty of Microsoft or any supplier, and even if Microsoft or any supplier has been advised of the possibility of such damages. 20. Limitation of liability and remedies. Notwithstanding any damages that you might incur for any reason whatsoever, including without limitation, all damages referenced herein and all direct or general damages in contract or anything else, the entire liability of Microsoft and any of its suppliers under any provision of this EULA and your exclusive remedy hereunder, except for any remedy of repair or replacement elected by Microsoft which respect to any breach of the limited warranty, shall be limited to the greater of the actual damages you incur in responsible reliance on the software up to the amount actually paid by you for the software, or US $5.00. The foregoing limitations, exclusions, and disclaimers, including sections 17, 18, and 19, shall apply to the maximum extent permitted by applicable law, even if any remedies fail its essential purpose. 21. U.S. government license rights. All software provided to the U.S. government pursuant to solicitations issued on or after December 1st, 1995 is provided with the commercial license rights and restrictions described elsewhere herein. All software provided to the U.S. government pursuant to solicitations issued prior to December 1st, 1995 is provided with restricted rights as provided for in FAR 48 CFR 52.227-14. June 1987, or DFAR 48 CFR 252.227-7013, October 1988, as applicable. 22. Applicable law. If you acquired this software in the United States, this EULA is governed by the laws of the state of Washington. If you acquired this software in Canada, unless expressly prohibited by local law, this EULA is governed by the laws in force in the province of Ontario, Canada. And in respect of any dispute which may arise hereunder, you consent to the jurisdiction of the federal and provincial court sitting in Toronto, Ontario. If you acquired this software in the European Union, Iceland, Norway, or Switzerland, then local law applies. If you acquired this software in any other country, then local law may apply. 23. Entire agreement, severability. This EULA, including any addendum or amendment to this EULA, which is included with the software, is the entire agreement between you and Microsoft relating to the software and the support services, if any, and they supersede all prior or contemporaneous oral or written communications, proposals, and representations which respect to the software or any other subject matter covered by this EULA. To the extent the terms of any Microsoft policies or programs for support services conflict with the terms of this EULA, the terms of this EULA shall control. If any provision of this EULA is held to be void, invalid, unenforceable, or illegal, the other provisions shall continue in full force and effect.